We're going to go ahead and talk about lesson 1-6. This is from the 7th grade book, Comparing and Ordering Integers. Okay, so just a reminder, I know you were exposed to this in 6th grade. An integer is any whole number, positive or negative. -4 is an integer, 1 is an integer, 3 is an integer. Okay, so any whole number that is either positive or negative, they're all integers. Okay, all right, so in this section we're going to be talking about a few vocabulary words. First of all, an integer, any whole number, positive or negative. Opposites, okay? So let's draw out a number line just to kind of give us something to start with. 0, 1, 2, 3. Now since integers, we are going to be working with negatives quite a bit. All right. Okay, so when we talk about math opposites, like in terms of what number is opposite positive to, okay? So they want to know basically what number is the same distance away from 0 on the other side, okay? So the opposite of positive 2, well, here's 0, it's 2. 2 this way is -2, okay? So the opposite is basically the negative or positive version of whatever that number was. What's the opposite of -3? Positive 3. What's the opposite of 1? -1. What's the opposite of 1,000? -1,000. Okay, so opposites, just whatever the opposite, whatever the other sign is, same number. All right. So another word we're going to come across is absolute value. Okay, an absolute value is written like this. Okay, it's going to have a number, and then it's going to have 2 lines going around it. This is called absolute value. Okay, what absolute value is basically the distance this number is on a number line away from 0. Okay, so here's 0. How far away is -2 from 0? Okay, it's 2 spots away, right? Okay, how far is 2 away from 0? 2 spots away, okay? So the absolute value is always basically this number. How far away is -2 from 0? It's 2 spots away, so the absolute value of -2 is 2, okay? So, I mean, absolute value is pretty easy. You just think about, okay? Basically, it's this number, but written as a positive. Absolute value is always going to be a positive number, okay? It's going to be 2 away, 2 away, okay? Absolute value of -56, okay? How far is -56 away from 0? Okay, it's 56 spots away. Absolute value of -56, 56, okay? What's the absolute value of 4? How far away from 0 is 4? It's 4 spots away. The absolute value of 4 is 4, okay? So we're going to talk about ordering and comparing integers. So that's kind of a combination of positive, negative, absolute values, everything. All right, so I'm just going to write some numbers. Let's do -6, 3, absolute value, -4, 5. All right, so I've just written up some numbers here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and order them. Okay, so we're going to go least to greatest. Okay, so least. Basically, what is the smallest number? Well, let's look at every number. Okay, when I think about, especially with negatives, the smallest number, basically what number is the furthest away from 0 in the negatives? Okay, which number basically has the furthest absolute value away from 0? That's a negative number, okay? Sometimes when I work with positive and negatives, I also it helps me to think about it like in terms of money. Okay, well, positive 3, I have $3. Okay, I'm doing all right. -6, I owe somebody $6. Okay, that obviously I'm poor, right? Because I don't have any money and I turn around and I owe somebody 6. Okay, so do you see how I'd rather have $3 as opposed to owing somebody $6. This is a larger number. Okay, all right. So let's look at this least. Okay, well, which number here is the furthest away from 0 on the negative side? Well, 8, right? 8 is the smallest number. Okay, all right, now that's gone. So what's left, which number is the furthest away from 0? Well, let's look at what we've got. I've got a -6. I've got a 3. I've got -4, but I've got the absolute value of -4. So what's another way of basically writing that? That's essentially 4, right? Well, here I've got -6, 3, 4, and 5. Well, I only have one negative, so obviously that is a smaller number than any of the positives. And then 3, and the absolute value of 4. and then 5. All right. And if I were comparing numbers, okay, 8, -8. Well, which is a larger amount? Well, I have $8 or I owe $8. Which would I rather have? Which would I want? Obviously, I want more money. Do I want to have $8? Do I want to owe somebody dollars? Yes, 8 is the larger amount. I would prefer to have $8. All right. Let's do. Okay, let's compare those. Let's compare those values. Absolute value of -4. Well, how far away is -4 away from 0? 4. So basically, this is 4 and 4. Okay, well then they're equal, right? All right. Okay. Well, which is a larger number, -3 or 6? Okay. And pretty much, obviously, if you ever have a, if one number is a negative, the other one's a positive, the positive is always going to be the larger value. I'd rather have money than owe somebody. Okay, well, let's look at negatives. All right, which is the larger value? Well, again, think about it, money. Okay, well, would I rather owe somebody $3 or would I rather owe them $5? Well, again, they both kind of stink. I don't really want to owe anybody money, but if I had to choose which is the better value, or which is the bigger number, -3, right? Okay, and again, -3 is, when we're talking about negatives, the closer the number is to 0, the larger the number is. The further away it is from 0, the smaller it is. Okay? All right, one more, -6. Okay, which is the larger amount. Again, with negatives, the closer that number is to 0 is larger. Okay, so which number, -6 or -8, is closer to 0? The -6. Okay, -6 is larger than -8. All right, so good luck with this section.